Now it's time for all things royal, and we're joined by Rupert Bell, talkTV royal correspondent, to go through the lot of it, all the goss from the palaces. How are you doing, Roops?
Very good, thank you, Alex.
Good, good. Well, first of all, let's start off with Prince Andrew, who apparently is launching a bid to win back £3 million a year taxpayer-funded armed security after he was stripped of protection following the whole Virginia Giuffre thing. Where are we at with that? I understand that Priti Patel's had to apologise to the king amongst all of this.
Yeah, well, she wrote a letter saying that they need to review, asking for the royal family maybe to review the situation with regard to his security. But the fact is, it would seem to be, well, the king, obviously, at the moment, is mindful of not trying to increase the security. At the moment, Prince Andrew doesn't leave his home, or if he does, it's very rarely. Maybe he's in Balmoral at the moment, enjoying a family holiday, but then there's all the security and paraphernalia around that anyway. So why does he need extra security when he's already afforded natural protection given where he is within the sort of Windsor estate where he is living at the Royal Lodge, and indeed where else he goes, which is more often than not with members of the royal family who again have a degree of security. So it's not as if he's got no security, it's just he wants his full beefed up security. But that was relevant when he actually was fulfilling his duties as a member of the royal family, which he no longer is.
Yeah, I mean, one could argue, I suppose, he's become a pretty notorious and unpopular member of the royal family, so he might need that extra protection. But, I mean, the details of this have been leaked to the press, haven't they, forcing Dame Priti Patel to actually have to apologise to the king, because it's put him in a pretty difficult situation, particularly as it was sort of reported last year that he might be considering personally paying the £3 million a year for his brother's bodyguards.
Well, I'm sure there is an element that he has to, just by the nature of who it is. And you've alluded to the fact that, you know, he is, well, he's a member of the royal family, and that always comes with an inherent security risk. So you can't ignore the fact, just because he's obviously persona non grata because of what he's been linked with, the fact is he is still a member of that family. So he still can be seen as a person who is at risk because of the very nature of who it is. But because he's no longer out and about and doing things on his own, he doesn't need that level of security because, as I say, there already is a natural sort of level of security that affords him a degree of protection instead of him being a fully fledged member of the royal family.
Well, someone who might be watching this closely, who indeed himself asked for security, he didn't even say the taxpayer had to pay for it. He said, I'll pick up the bill, just give me the cops, is Prince Harry. And he is also set to return to the UK very soon in September. Tell us more about his visit. This is for a charity event that was postponed due to the death of his grandmother, that he's now going back and doing a year later.
Every year, Wellchild actually have this award ceremony. So last year, he couldn't go to the one they had because it was on the day that his mother died, his grandmother died. And so he had to pull out of that and then had to make that plane journey to Aberdeen, which obviously has caused some fallout because he wasn't told enough of exactly what was going on, and he got there in the evening. So Wellchild is an organisation that he has been associated for a long time, I think at least 15 years. So he's coming over because it's going to be part of his visit to Europe, because obviously a couple of days later the Invictus Games gets underway in Dusseldorf, of which again he has been a driving force behind it. And so these two charities are actually very much part of what he was involved with before, and it's the couple of things that he still remains involved with. So him going to the Wellchild thing is not unusual. But again,
weird perhaps that he's going to be doing that at the same time that his brother and Kate will be paying tribute to the late Queen, and it's unlikely that he's going to be part of any of that.
Well, that's true, but they always hold it around about then. So this week is September. So the timing is probably more the issue. But again, yes, the fact is that he is no longer part of the inner circle of the royal family. And at the moment, they're not desperately keen to offer him an olive branch because they need to actually sit around the room and sort everything else out before they start having a meeting here and a meeting there. But obviously, on the year anniversary, there will be various things, and I think, well, the Prince and Princess of Wales are going out, I think, on the 8th of September, fulfilling some obligation, you know, remembering his grandmother. So it is difficult, but this is every time Harry comes to this country, there will always be You know, will he, won't he go and see the rest of the family? Every time. And this is part of a continuous soap opera.
Yeah, it is a soap opera. It's always a distraction. One would imagine the late Queen wouldn't mind seeing a reconciliation at one point, but wouldn't hold your breath. Rupert Bell there getting us up to date with all the talk of the town when it comes to the royal palaces and quite what the Windsors are up to.